Hello dear students, very good morning to you all. In today's class I teach you very important topic named structure of a computer system from the module number 1. You may get a question on this topic in VTU main examination or in first internal for more marks. The question will be like this: discuss the structure of a computer system with its neat block diagram. If you draw the neat diagram of a computer system like this, you may get 2 to 3 marks for it. Input unit, memory unit, output unit, CPU. CPU includes ALU and CU. Both together we call CPU. Memory unit and CPU, both together you can call it as a system unit. In exam, if you explain input unit, system unit and output unit, you get out of out marks for everything. Let us start. Explanation of each unit may carry 2 marks. 2, 2, 2 and 2. 2 4s are 8. Another 2 is for diagram. Like that 10 marks are distributed. Let us start. How to answer this question in internals or in VTU main examination? Let us start answering this question by answering the question, what is computer? Already we know computer is an electronic computing device. Yeah, it is true. It receives, it takes raw data which is not processed as input from its users. Yeah, computer system will take the input from its users. Once it takes input, it will process it and generates the required result as an output. That is what we call computer. Computers are having the capability to store input as well as output in computers' secondary memory for further or future use. That is what we call computer. Yeah, it is true. The major 4 functions of a computer system are input, process, output and store. You may work with any of the computer system. You may work with supercomputer or mainframe or mini computer, laptop, desktop, workstation. Even you can work with tablet or smartphone. All machines will take input, all machines will process, all machines will show the result, and if necessary input and output can be stored in computer secondary memory. All these functions will be carried out by computer system by different functional units. Input unit is responsible for taking input only. Memory unit, what it does? It stores data and programs inside. That is the one and only one for memory. What is the work of input unit? It takes input from user, it transmits to memory unit. What is the work of memory? It holds data and programs inside, that's all. Whenever somebody wants, it gives. That's all. What is the work of output unit? It will fetch the result from memory, it shows. That is the work of output unit. Work of output unit is just to show it on monitor or send it to printer to get the hard copies. That is the work of output unit. What is the work of ALU? ALU performs arithmetical calculations and logical calculations with the stored data. What is CU? CU will assign the work to everybody. Oh, all these are different people. These are different functional units. All units are having specific work. Input unit takes input and transmits to memory. Memory unit, it stores data and programs inside. Primary memory and secondary memory. In secondary memory, whatever is there, and that will be taken into primary memory by operating system, and it does the work. That's all. Output unit, and someone will tell to memory unit, printf will transmit the data from memory to output unit. Scanf takes input from the keyboard and transmits to the memory unit. Scanf takes the input, printf will send the output. Okay, very interesting. All these functional units are working correctly. There is a good friendship between all the functional units. If friendship breaks, our computer system will not work properly. Coordination is there between all the units of a computer system. Inputs unit work is to take the input. Memory unit work is to store the something inside the memory. ALU is responsible for performing arithmetical and logical calculations. Control unit, it reads the program from memory and it will understand the instruction. Accordingly, it will assign the work to ALU, it will assign the work to output unit, it will assign the work to input unit. It will take the instructions from the memory. Here I used 3 types of lines: thick line, dotted line and another type of line. And thick line represents data and results flow. Wherever thick line I used, data transmission takes place or results transmission takes place. Control instructions to other units from control unit. Control unit is giving the instructions to output unit, control unit is giving the instructions to memory, control unit is giving the instructions to the input unit. Oh, interesting. And this type of line represents fetching the instructions from the written program. Okay, instructions from memory unit to control unit. Don't forget to draw the diagram neatly, and don't forget the labeling also, very important. Most commonly used input devices are keyboard and mouse. Most commonly used output devices are monitor and printer. Let us start with the explanation of input unit. And first you have to explain input unit. Next you need to explain CPU. Inside the CPU we have ALU. Inside the CPU we have CU, and explain functions of CU. Then explains you need to explain about the memory unit. Then you need to explain about the types of memories, and you need to explain about the output unit at the end. No, I am explaining more, but actually you are writing less in exam with quality points. I explain more, no problem, but definitely you write less in exam. But remember quality points and write it in examination. Let us start and complete it early. Let us start the input unit. Okay, you can explain the things in your own way, don't imitate like me. Okay, let us start. The input unit helps to give inputs to a computer system to get desired result after processing. Yeah, it is true. The most commonly used input device is keyboard. Oh, it is most commonly required used input device. A keyboard is used to enter alphanumeric characters and symbols. You can see on keyboards we have alphabets, and we have digits, we have upper symbols, function keys F1, F2, F3 up to F12, escape key, and we have home, insert, delete, and page up, page down, upper arrow, left arrow, down arrow, right arrow. Numeric keypad, we have upper symbols and below symbols, space bar, 2 alt keys and 2 control keys, 2 shift keys, 1 caps lock and tab. If caps lock is on, we get capital. If caps lock light is off, we get small letter. Shift we have to press and hold it to get upper symbols, and space bar helps us to get the space between the characters. Backspace helps us to delete the backside character. Delete helps us to delete the above character from the cursor. Home means cursor moves to starting of the line. Insert helps us to replace the character. End helps us to move the cursor to the end of line. Page up and page down. Move the cursor up, down, left and right. If the numlock is on, upper symbols are going to work. If the numlock is off, below symbols are going to work. Function keys F1 to F12. Control F9 helps us to run the program. Control plus F9 helps us to run the program. Okay, this is what the keyboard. And the mouse is used to pick or select a command from the monitor screen. A scanner helps us to scan our photograph, and scanner we use to read the barcode from the product in Patel Planet, and so on. That's all. You can explain the things in your own way. You can list out the most commonly used input devices also. CPU is very important. This is the heart of a computer system or brain of a computer system. This is single chip. These are called chip. This is single chip present on motherboard. This is the motherboard. Here we have the CPU socket. Here we fit it. Okay, CPU socket. And here you have the RAM slots. Dynamic RAM, DRAM memory slot. Here we inside the RAMs. Okay. This is CMOS battery. System data and time will be managed by this battery. PCS slots, peripheral component interconnect. You can insert a network interface card, TV tuner card here. There are the connections for integrated peripherals, and CPU fan will be there. We fit here, and we fit the CPU here. This is the main board or motherboard, and CPU is a single chip present on the motherboard. Its job is to execute the computer programs, and the programs whichever is there in memory, that will be executed by CPU only. It is the brain. It will read the program, it will understand the instruction, and it assigns that work to other components. It is also called as processor. Oh, interesting. CPU is also called as processor. Example, Intel's i3 processor, i5 processor, i7 processor. It will understand the instructions from the written program, and accordingly it will process the data by ALU. It includes more than 1 billion transistors. Inside this chip we find billions of transistors, 10⁹ transistors. Okay, it includes the following two major components: arithmetical and logical unit and control unit. Let us start our discussion with the ALU. And just only I told you that CPU will fetch the data and instructions from memory. Memory contains data and instructions, And as we know all, machine understands only zeros and ones, and data, that is in machine language, data is taken from memory to the CPU, and instructions are also the combinations of zeros and one, and data will be taken from that CPU and instructions will be taken, and ALU will do the work and it will send the result back. Someone is managing all the status, program counter is managing the status. This is the memory. Memory is having small parts called memory cells. Each memory cell is having the address. That address helps us to fetch the data, fetch the instruction, and send the, okay, these addresses helps us lot. Okay, this is what the diagram, no problem at all. Let us start our discussion with the ALU. What is ALU? Arithmetical and logical unit. Arithmetical calculations means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and mod. Logical operations, less than, greater than, these are relational expressions, logical and, logical or, logical not. Okay, let us start our discussion with arithmetical calculations. ALU performs both arithmetical and logical calculations with the data. Arithmetical calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus. If the memory A is having 7, if the memory B is having 3, A and B are the integer variables, and 7 plus 3 is 10, 7 minus 3 is 4, 7 into 3 is 21, 7 divided by 3, we get quotient, 3 2s are 6, 2 is the quotient, 3 2s are 6, 1 is the remainder. Division operator gives the quotient. Division operator gives the quotient. Mod operator, you need to call it as a mod operator. It returns remainder, 3 2s are 6, remainder is 1 after division operation. These two are very important operators for us to solve some problems. To write simple C programs helps us a lot. And 10 divided by 2, 2 5s are 10, remainder is 0, but we get quotient, 2 5s are 10, remainder is 0. Divided by is giving us the quotient, mod is giving us a 0. That's all. Next, logical calculations may include relational operators and logical operators. Relational operators helps us to find the relationship between two values. What is the relationship between 7 and 3? 7 is less than 3? No, false. For computer, false means 0. True means any non-zero value, not only 1. 7 is less than 3? False. 7 is less than 3? No. Equals to 3? No, false. 7 is greater than 3? True. 7 is greater than 3? Yeah, not equals to, but it is greater than 3. 7 is equivalent to 3? I used the equals to sign twice here. Don't use it once. If you use once, that is assignment operator, that we will discuss in the forthcoming classes. 7 is equivalent to 3? No, false, 0. 7 is not equals to 3? Yeah, it is true, 1. We can combine these relational expressions by using logical operators like logical AND, logical OR and logical NOT. Pipe symbol twice, AND symbol twice. AND twice means logical AND, pipe twice means logical OR, logical NOT. In forthcoming classes we'll learn. All these operations will be performed by ALU. Next, control unit. Control unit is very important. Control unit will control all the computer system. The entire computer system will be managed by control unit only. The control unit controls the overall activities of the computer system. It will fetch the instructions from the memory. It will fetch the instructions from the memory. In the memory, programs will be there. That program is having instructions. It reads that program. It will understand the instructions and it will assign the work to all other components. It will fetch the program instructions from main memory RAM. Actually, we store the program in hard disk. Once you run the program, that will be transmitted from hard disk to RAM. From RAM, CPU will understand. CPU will assign the work to other components by understanding that program. It will manage and coordinate the entire computer system, including its input and output in it. That is by sending control signals to all components. It acts as supervisor of a computer system. I give an analogy example. In our family, our parents are control unit. Control unit will control overall activities of our family. Control unit knows the program and control unit will tell the instructions to all the family members. Parents are telling you something, you need to listen to them so that they want to get some correct result. And we are the teachers, we are the control unit for you in the classroom. Our principal sir is the control unit for all the employees of our college. Chief Minister is the control unit, Prime Minister is the control unit. Like that, I hope you understood. Control unit controls the overall activities of computer system. It acts as supervisor of a computer system. What are the functions of control unit? Control unit will understand the program, it will assign the work accordingly. It will fetch the instructions from main memory, it will assign the work accordingly. It communicates with ALU, main memory and all other units. It will assign the work to ALU to operate on data as per the program instructions. It controls the flow of data among memory, processor and other components of a computer system. The overall supervision of a computer system will be done by control unit. Next, memory. Memory plays very important role. Memory contains two things. Data will be there in the memory and instructions, means program instructions, will be there in the memory. Computer's memory is the storage space in computers. It helps to store data and instructions for real-time use or future use. The computer's memory is divided into small parts. Just only I have shown you. Computer's memory is divided into small parts called memory cells. Each memory has unique address. Yes, each memory has the unique address for cell will be there. Ampersand symbol we use while writing program. And the address of memory helps to store and get the data from memory cell. The memory address starts from 0 and ends with memory size -1. Address will be in the form of integers, negative value or positive number. The units of computer's memory is bit or byte, already we know. A bit stands for binary digit and which represents ones and zeros. 4 bits means 1 nibble, 8 bits means 1 byte, 1024 bytes will make 1 kilobyte, 1024 kilobytes 1 megabyte, already you know. 1024 MB 1 gigabyte, 1024 GB 1 terabyte, 1024 terabyte 1 petabyte. You can explain all these things in exam if you have the time. The computer's memory is classified into two types. Primary memory is also called as main memory or internal memory, and secondary memory, that is external. And you can see the diagram, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory, RAM and ROM. Different types of RAM and different types of ROMs are there. Secondary memory, hard disk, SSD, nowadays latest one, solid state, compact disk, floppy disk, magnetic tape, and CPU, RAM, and inside the CPU registers. Registers are also memory, and RAM and disk. Okay, you can see the diagram. And processor is having some registers, that is the memory. Very costlier and works with high speed. CPU caches, L1, L2 and L3 caches, that is also memory, very costly, works with high speed. Main memory, RAM, okay, and secondary memory, okay, SSD, HDD. And you can top means what? Storage size is very low, less storage space will be there, but works with high speed. When you come down, more space we get, but speed is slow. You can see other diagram. CPU registers, CPUs using registers, it is accessed by CPU, cache L1, L2, L3, and then main memory, then secondary memory, then keyboard is also having memory, mouse, okay, all these are having memory. This is what the memory hierarchy. You can draw this diagram in examination if you have the time, one block diagram for that. Let us start discussion with the primary memory. Primary memory is main memory, internal memory. Secondary, external memory. And reading data will be much faster. Reading data will be much slower. Temporary storage, permanent storage. Expensive, less expensive. Storage devices are semiconductors, storage magnetic disk and optical disk. ROM and RAM. Read only memory. Read the instructions, you cannot change it. Random access memory, you can store, you can delete. And if the machine is on, data will be there. Whenever you turn up the machine, nothing will be there. But in the ROM, once you turn up the machine, instructions will be there, you cannot change it. Hard disk, CD, DVD, floppy disk, pen drive, all the secondary memory. ROM, read only memory, you cannot change it. Random access memory, the data stored can be read only, you cannot change. The data can be read and rewritten. Permanent memory or non-volatile, you cannot change it. Temporary, it changes. Used by machine, used by program and machine both. Data is available after power cutoff. No data is available after the power cutoff. Okay, this is what the diagram, you can draw it or leave it. And at the end, output unit, that's all. You can explain the things in your own way. The output unit is responsible for showing or printing the processed information. The most commonly used output device is monitor and printer. A monitor is used to display result in the form of text and graphics. A result displayed in monitor is temporary and it disappears when the next result is displayed. The printers like dot matrix, inkjet and laser printers are also used to store the files, used to store the files. These printouts can be taken. And a plotter is larger in size, A0 size paper we use in real time in industry. Hard disk, secondary memory. You can explain and the things in your own way. I think I explained with little bit high speed so that you can understand everything. If I explain the things with high speed, I request you to watch the video once again. You can pause in between, you can come back and watch. I hope you understood. If you understood, please write the comment so that I can improve my next lecture videos. Please don't forget to write the comments on this lecture video. It helps me to come up with some more lecture videos for you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.